Oh, so it appears that somebody again has shared one of my experiments on Reddit. It took me a while to figure out which one it was. I had to go back and watch it. So we'll listen to the ridiculous response. And here we go.
Alright, should be streaming and such. DraftPhysics.com, DebatePhysics.com, also video presentation and other.
I love how you throw that debate in every time like it actually means something, but you never debate.
Response, sort of, to their responses, which aren't relevant to any of my arguments, so they're like me having to respond to their shitty arguments all over again. Posting something on this channel called Critiquing My Physics. Alright, that's
Your physics? You haven't got any physics. You just got made up nonsense.
never on the subject. It just keeps digging up these old 1-year-old, 2-year-old videos from the Cranks Fall Well This Bar, these rickety duct tape shit videos.
Oh, you got a real aversion to duct tape. I can think of a really good use of duct tape over your fucking mouth.
Of garbage experiments. So their argument is that there's a thing called MGH, okay, that's real. You know, I'm saying it's MGT, of course. Amount of time that you're in gravity.
Yeah, you keep saying it, but it's not true.
Gravity will decide how much gravity affects you. And the height's just giving you the time. So how high you go decides how much time it will take something to fall, free fall. All right, and so he's doing this backward experiment where he's going to compress a spring. And so what he's going to do, though, is compress it at different heights. Okay, so it'll be compressed, at different
amounts. What different amounts were they? That's the thing, you're not going to say that, you're just going to draw a picture, you're not going to show the evidence, are you?
Amounts, okay. So the object will be at different heights, okay, when it's...
Wow, different heights. Well, they're on a different spring compression, so yes, obviously they're going to go from different fucking heights.
Watch. So his excuse is that he's doing some center of mass thing, like somehow...
Excuse? It's not an excuse, it's just nature.
Gravity affects the center of mass, which is just nonsense. It just...
Gravity? Why are we talking about gravity? I had to go back and look at the video, and the title of the video is Energy from Spring Compression. So where's gravity in this? Why are you bringing gravity into it? Obviously, yes, gravity does accelerate things from its centre of mass, but this experiment's not anything to do with gravity. It's to do with springs, because the subject is twice the compression on a spring, 4 times the energy.
It works on the entire object. So I could have an object that was shaped, like this, with all of its mass at the top, and it could be a little pin at the bottom.
But again, that would have a centre of mass. The probes I used are uniform. They aren't a weird shape like that. But if you launched a shape like that, again, you would measure from its centre of mass initial to its final.
I'd still have to measure how high every point, how much distance it moved, okay? That's all that would matter, is how much distance did it move? How much did it change its position?
Yeah, and that's what I showed in the experiment. The distance, the centre of mass, moved.
You can't do this, okay? So he's measuring from different locations and then saying that these objects, okay, moved a different height, when obviously...
Clearly you didn't watch the experiment. They didn't move different heights, they all moved about the same height. So clearly, I mean, this is the thing when we present experiments, you haven't got a clue what you're looking at, or you just don't understand them.
He's measuring from a different location. So it's kind of silly and stupid. On its face, that's just wrong. You can't say this one traveled, the same distance as this one, because you were measuring.
So you do get that they were moving the same distance. So again, did you watch it? Did you understand it? Or are you just lying through your fucking back teeth if you've got any left?
Their center of mass, rather than the fact that they have an actual position. Okay, that all of them will move. Okay.
Yeah, the center of mass as a position. What's the problem with that?
From a zero. So if you don't start at the same zero, the center of mass isn't at the same zero, there's no point in measuring the center of mass up here if you're not going to measure the center of mass down there.
But I did exactly that, so that's a blatant lie, isn't it? On the video, when I watched it back, it actually says, a big fucking readout of saying center of mass initial before its launch and center of mass final when it reaches its maximum height. So again, you're just lying.
Is the argument. So yes, just plain stupid.
But again, it's not an argument. What it is a blatant lie to avoid basically not accepting evidence.
So a waste of time. And garbage anyway, because we don't get to actually see any of it. So he just films little tiny clips, shows us his little tiny clips, and that's it.
So again, blatant lie. How was it little tiny clips? It was 3 launches of each. They were all very consistent. You got to see everything. I even took I think at the end, I put on all the raw footage. So there was no labels on or anything. So you could view it. So again, you're talking absolute bollocks.
We don't really get to see the experiment and see how much it bounces or anything else. We see the springs.
And again, what's the bouncing thing got to do with anything? It's about how much energy is in the spring when you launch it. We don't care how many times it bounces after. That's you're always, it's not on subject. You're not on subject here. You're just wandering off, trying to basically pretend, this, that and the other, but you're talking absolute shit, aren't you?
Moving, so he doesn't have the spring attached to the ground, so it's flying up with the object. So lots of things.
Yeah, and it still produced the results, didn't it? So, for all that lost energy, that spring going up, I mean, at the end of the day, that spring has got some mass. It's not massless. So yes, it's going to jump up a little bit. Some tiny amount of that energy is going to go into that. But the results speak for themselves. They're all in line with the energy equations.
That don't look right are good. So it's just junk. Okay, that's all that needs to be said.
So yeah, that's it. It's just junk, That's your answer to everything, to every experiment, professional or amateur.
And I just don't have an obligation to respond to junk. So I'm not going to, over and over anyway. I've already responded to the junk. So
it was a while ago, but if I remember correctly, the first time round when you responded to it, you simply had no fucking clue what was going on, which seems to be the case with pretty much every piece of evidence that's presented to you. If you don't watch them, fair enough. You could just say, yeah, blah, 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 I didn't watch them. And therefore, when you talk about them, you're going to talk absolute nonsense because you didn't fucking watch them. But I actually do think you watch them, and it's like you're looking in a mirror and looking behind, wondering where the other person is. That's how you seem when an experiment's presented to you. You just have no idea what's going on. You claim to be, I know physics. You really have no clue. You can't. it's just unbelievable that you don't even understand some of the most basic stuff.
They've had their opportunity. They've posted their junk in the past. I'm not going to waste time here redoing it. So if they can't make...
But you aren't redoing it because you didn't do it the first time. Like I say, you just looked at it and went, huh? That's pretty much how it goes.
better video, or they can't make one more relevant to my arguments, then forget it. So I've shown...
But this was relevant to the argument because you were arguing about twice the spring compression can't be 4 times the energy, which obviously the video, whether you watched it or not, actually shows that to be the case physically. Not a drawing like you've done there, actually showing what really happens.
I've shown you a Mythbusters video, okay, where in 2 circumstances there's 0 evidence of kinetic energy, 0 evidence in the actual crash.
And again, how many times has this been explained to you? And again, you just don't seem to get it. Like I say, the Mythbusters video is a very good example of kinetic energy. But you just don't understand that.
And then 0 evidence when they smush clay. So explain to me, okay, why that evidence isn't decisive and complete.
It has been explained to you, but you just don't understand. Experiments have been shown to you, but you just don't understand. I mean, in the one that you know, supposedly talking about now, twice the compression of the spring did 4 times the work. So think about it, dipshit. If the car crushes twice as much, like a spring crushed or compressed twice as much, that requires 4 times the energy. And that's what happened in the clay and in the cars in the Mythbuster experiment. Twice the compression or twice the crushing is 4 times the energy.
Why I need your shitty experiment instead. Yeah, no, I don't need it. Alright, so I'll read this shit.
You don't need it. Clearly, you just need to carry on talking complete nonsense in the face of evidence that proves you wrong.
Yeah, I don't even need to bother posting it, I don't think. It's got 1 comment. Well, I guess we'll read it for the comment. Alright, it says, you claim that twice the spring compression cannot equal 4 times the energy. No evidence exists. So he posted to this more than a year old piece of garbage video by Falwell. I present...
Getting on for 2 years old now, nearly.
Sent you this video, which gives you a clear and simple walk through the evidence. This isn't any evidence. Ultimately showing that twice the spring compression, twice the force, 4 units of energy. So again, they're saying, just let's understand, they're reasserting the argument, okay, that 3 units of compression of a spring is 9 units of energy. 4 units of compression, that is 4 pounds, is 16 units of energy.
Correct. You kind of got it now.
So anytime anything, you double its weight, you've quadrupled its energy. All the way up to this notion that something that weighs 5 times as much somehow crushes things 25 times as much, which it doesn't do.
No, it doesn't do, because that's not the argument, is it? If you put something 5 times as heavy on a spring, it will compress 5 times as much. But that's a static situation, isn't it?
No. On this planet ever. Okay. Does indeed rise 4 times the mass, similar height to 1 mass, 1 spring compression, blah, blah, blah. If all...
So there we go. That, you know, somebody's pointing out there to you what happens, and what do you say? Blah, blah, blah. It's in the video. You can see it. It defeats your nonsense. And what's your answer to it? Blah, blah, blah.
Or iterations of the mass and the spring compression all reaching about the same height. So again, they're not measured from the same heights. So even though you think it's about height, you're measuring on a ruler from different launching heights, which is...
Oh my God, you just don't... So you don't even get a measurements, you don't even understand how measurements work, do you? No wonder you struggle with all these experiments.
Really dumb. Okay, he says right in the video, center of mass. I'm measuring from the center of mass because gravity only affects the center of mass, which is just wrong.
And again, why are you going off topic? What's it got to do with gravity? Like I say, the title of the video was energy from spring compression. I was putting a mass on a spring and launching it. It didn't come from gravity.
Okay, we also have 1V, 2V, 2A, 3A, 4. Well, that's all just garbage. But there is only one difference for 1 and 2 spring compressions across the experiment. Twice the compression, twice the force by Hooke's law. So this doesn't make any sense, right?
So at least they pointed out that, ultimately there was only twice the spring compression. You obviously just drew... How many did you draw? 3 there. You didn't even draw the 4th one. So you didn't go from 1 to route 2, route 3, and then route 4 or 2. Yeah. So somebody actually watched it and understood it.
Yeah, it's twice the force, but 4 times the energy. Does that make some sort of sense somehow? No, it doesn't make any
Yes, it makes perfect sense.
Sense at all. Twice the force is 4 times the energy. 3 times the force is 9 times the energy. Why bother with the word force? It doesn't mean anything. Because you're saying it doesn't mean...
The thing is, you're just focusing on force. When you compress a spring twice as much, you've got twice the force. But you've also compressed it over twice the distance. And force times distance is energy. 2 times 2 is 4. If you were to compress it 3 times the force, 3 times the distance, 3 times 3 is 9, and so on and so on. I'm sure you can figure that out.
Anything. It's completely deceptive. Oh, okay. Why bother then? Which you agree with. Yeah, that's right. And I don't have any notion that it's extra energy. Twice the force...
No, because you don't understand what energy is, how it's defined.
Twice the momentum, as you often claim. Yes. So where, again, have you proven that there's 4 times the ability to do work? So we didn't see 4 units of work being done anywhere.
You didn't see 4 units of work being done, so you saw 4 units of mass being lifted up to the same height as a single one mass. So what, you're saying that's twice the energy? Really? How's that work on?
Anyway, how does your model reconcile twice the spring compression producing 4 times the momentum? It doesn't. I say the experiment's a pile of shit. Okay, and so I'll just...
So again, you watched it. Well, you probably didn't watch it. But that's your answer to it. So that's what physically happened in the experiment. There was 4 times. It was twice the force, twice the spring compression, and it produced 4 times the momentum. And your answer is, oh, it didn't happen. It's just a pile of shit. But it's there in the video, isn't it?
Ask you, how do you reconcile the Mythbusters finding absolutely 0 evidence for anything called the kinetic energy anywhere ever?
Okay. Oh, that was a nice little shake of the head there, wasn't it? Again, I previously explained that just not too long ago, so we won't go there again. Right, I'll leave it there because you're just going to go off on ranting on other stuff, and I only wanted to just obviously respond to, obviously my work. So, yeah, that's it for today. Thanks for listening.